ग्रह तुम्हारे देते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो यापे, तीनों लोक हांकते कावे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमंत वीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन कर्म वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा, हे प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे वासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंतकाल रघुवरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चेतन धरये, हनुमंत से सर्व सुख करये। संकट हटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमंत बलवीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटे बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीशा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीशा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महाडेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसौ सुरभूपतिया पर। रामचंद्र की जय, रघुवीर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकर सुधारे। बरनउँ रघुवर विमल जश, जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार। जय
हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपि सतिहु लोक उजागर। राम अतुलित बल नाम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नाम महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियह दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे श्री रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई सहस्र वदन तुम रोज सगावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा यम कुबेर दिगपाल चहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना योग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लियो ताई मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे जेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमंत वीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन कर्म वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा हे परसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुपर पुर जाई जहाँ जन हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चेतन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट हरे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलवीरा जय 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 हनुमान ज्ञान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सच बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महादेवा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सही, हृदय बसौ सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, रघुवीर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय।
राम तुझे मिलने का सत्य संग ही बहाना है। श्री गुरु शरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। करनहु रघुवर विमल यशो, जो दायक फलचारी। पुत्रहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार। राम राम जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर। जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, सुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंजित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, काजे मोद जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। राम राम काहू में, हनुमान गाहू में। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, श्री रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लायक जीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई। शस्त्र बदन तुम रोज सगावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कभी कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुजीवन कीना, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना। राम राम काहू में, हनुमान गाहू में। सुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना शूक श्वास शोचन पर भानु लियो चाहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मोतिका मिली मुख माही जल दिलादि गई अक्षरस नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम मनोहर तुम्हारे प्रीति राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आया बिन पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहो को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे राम राम गाओ में हनुमान गाओ में नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा इनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा हे पर श्रेष्ठ जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अस श्रीक नवनिधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा राम राम गाओ में हनुमान गाओ में तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुपर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चिंतन धरे हनुमत से विचार सुख करे संकट हरे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नारी जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई जो जय बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा कीजे नाथ हृदय महाडेरा राम राम गाओ में हनुमान गाओ में पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय रघुवीर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna to all the devotees. It's a great honor to welcome Swami Guru Bhaktananda. So when we listen this name Swami Guru Bhaktananda, then we say, okay, someone new in our life. But as soon as we mention K. Krishna Bhai, oh, we say he's our friend, he's our brother, is very known personality. And behalf of the East London Hindu Society, I would like to welcome Swami Guru Bhaktananda and as well as Krishna Bhai. The reason why is I know uh, when I joined 2008 and it was 2009, the first time he visited East London and he came to our house and we discussed various methods, ways, and about the Hinduism and culture and tradition. હવે that time was slightly different situation. કે મને ઇંગ્લિશ આવડે નહીં અને એમને ગુજરાતી ફાવે નહીં. પણ we developed the communication channel whichever way, that bonding every year lasted. And then after, in 2012, he decided to go to India, Rishikesh Ashram. So every life is a journey. So the journey is, if you look at that way, it's called upgradation. So we upgrade ourselves from where we are. So the 10 years of Swami Guru Bhaktananda means the journey from Krishna Bhai to Swami Guru Bhaktananda, that is the 10 years in Rishikesh Ashram. So that journey today we are going to experience through his divine word, which will enlighten us not as a Krishna Bhai, but as a Swami Guru Bhaktananda. Once again, on behalf of the East London Hindu Society, I would like to welcome Swami Guru Bhaktananda in our mandir. And we are thankful to you gave your time. And with that time, we will be enlighten ourselves through the divine and cosmic experience. So now the Swami Guru Bhaktananda will start the Manchalisa, and then after enlightenment we will start.
Thanks for the very big introduction, Panditji. They all know that I'm a very simple person. So I don't need too much of formality. एक हनुमान चालीसा गाओ, all right? श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार सीताराम वर्ण रघुवर विमल यश जोदायक फल चार सीताराम बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार सीताराम बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सीताराम जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम भजरंगी सुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरण विराज सुरेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केशरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई। सहस बदन तुमरो यश गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित अहीशा। यम कुबेर दिखपाल जहारे, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहारे। तुम्ह उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाइ राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मिलित माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन परिसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संभारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते आपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जप नाम सुनावे। नाशे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ज्ञान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, इनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, हे प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख विसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाय, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय। और देवता चित्तन धरय, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करय। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमेरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। सहस्र बार पाठ करे कोई, भूत ही बंदी महासुख होय। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि तेरा, जय नाथ हृदय महादेवा पवन तनय संकट हरणा मंगल मूर्ति रूप सीताराम राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप सीताराम हृदय बसहु सुरभूप सीताराम हृदय बसहु सुरभूप सीताराम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय ओ नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव Om. Namaste. I offer my humble salutations at the feet of beloved Gurudev Swami Shivananji Maharaj, in whose name we have undertaken this one-year tour around the country from the 99th anniversary of his sannyas day to the centenary of his sannyas, which is in June next year. I offer my pranams and revered salutations to Sri Gopal Bhai and Pandit Sri Gopal Bhai, and to all of you brothers and sisters whom I have not seen since 14 years. I'm very happy to meet all of you. It's been a nice journey for me, a spiritual journey, which I started at the beginning of 2011, when I decided that I would like to go to India and further my study in religion, so that at least I can understand for myself what spiritual life is all about and try and practice it to the best of my ability. So I did that, and I went to India, and I studied for 2 years at the Chinmaya Mission in Bombay. The subject was Vedanta, which is the essence of the Hindu philosophy, and it's the foundation philosophy upon which the whole of Hindu religion is based. It is the ultimate path to Godhead, irrespective of which organization we belong to. It is a universal path for all mankind, not just Hindus. Then, after the course, I was unable to come back to South Africa because the Divine Life has a rule that I should not have gone to study. And so I respected that rule. And so I was welcomed at the Shivananda Ashram in Rishikesh. Pujya Swami Vimalananji Maharaj was the president at that time, and he had known me from a very long time ago, and so he had no hesitation to take me into the ashram, and I stayed at the ashram serving him and doing all sorts of correspondence work with him, taking down the letters that he dictated. And towards the end of his life, which was in 2019, I had the most blessed experience of serving him in bed. For 4 months, he was unable to move. It was quite a trying time for all of us, but we managed somehow, by his grace, then I came to know what it is to be a saint. He was totally calm and collected in all those 4 months. Not a bit of complaint did he make, although we knew that he was struggling with his health and suffering a lot of pain. In the last 3 months, I was very fortunate to be accompanying his personal assistant to clean him, dress him daily. It was like a nurse's work. This was a great experience for me. I never thought I'd ever have this opportunity of serving a Mahatma in that manner till his last day. And then I thought very carefully to myself, and I decided that it would be perhaps better for me to come back to South Africa after Pujya Swamiji passed away. So on the occasion of the 1-year ceremony, I submitted to the ashram my intention of going back to South Africa. It also happened to coincide with the COVID virus. And so together we tried to get a plane back to South Africa. I got the repatriation flight from South African Airways. So that is how I ended up here. And then because I had no place to stay, I applied to the Aryan Benevolent Home if I could stay there and volunteer and work there. And so they quite readily agreed, because the CEO of Aryan Benevolent happened to be a friend of mine, which I didn't know when I applied. He was a close devotee of the Divine Life Society, and he knew me. So he said, yes, please come. You won't be a resident, you'll have to be a volunteer. And he gave me so much of work. I was busy all the time for 2 years. I really enjoyed that work in ABH. They made me do just about everything that was required to be done. But it was secular work. Of course, we don't differentiate too much between secular and spiritual, but it was taking me away from what I had studied in India, which I wanted to put into practice here. And so I quietly resigned from the ABH. And it was very painful for me to do that, but I did it. And then the instruction came from Rishikesh that I should work independently on this particular work, because this work doesn't come under the sphere of the Divine Life Society of South Africa. And so that is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm independent. I have the benefit of not being under an umbrella when I teach this absolutely beautiful, universal philosophy. It's a great advantage not to be under any particular organization, because this knowledge belongs to all of us as Hindus and even to non-Hindus. I firmly believe that this is a universal science of development of the soul, particularly of interest to Hindus, but applicable in spirit to people all over the world. And so that is what I had set my mind to do till God calls me back. Okay? So that's a brief introduction about the journey. Now, we have gone out, Kaelan and I are out on a 1-year tour to commemorate the Sannyas Day of Swami Shivananda. But it is not just in the name of Swami Shivananda. We are going around talking about the spiritual significance of sannyas as an institution set up by the Hindu Dharma. Nobody else has actually set up this form of renunciation for people to lead a spiritual life. It is quite unique to Hindu Dharma to take sannyas and follow the rules and codes of sannyas in order to head towards perfection. Now, I have to tell you right at the outset that sannyas is not an attainment. It's not an achievement. It's a journey towards the achievement. Okay? So sannyas doesn't mean that so-and-so has realized God. It's not like that. It's generally a misunderstanding to think like that. We are all on the path, whether we are sannyasis or not. Everyone is on the spiritual path, and we all are treading on an equal footing because the laws apply to everybody. The laws of spirituality apply equally whether we are in grade 1 or whether we are in matric. So, sannyas can be taken at any point along the journey depending according to your circumstances. There are some great beings like Sri Shankaracharya who took sannyas at the age of 12. You know the great story that he asked his mother that he would like to take sannyas, and his mother, of course, said, no, my child, you can't take sannyas, you're too young. Then Shankaracharya ji insisted that he would like to take sannyas, he is ready for it. And his mother turned it down, and Shankaracharya wouldn't do anything unless his mother had approved. So one day when he was going to bath in the river, the Purna river, near Kaladi, then what happened was that a crocodile came in the river. A crocodile was there, and it grabbed hold of Shankaracharya. And Shankaracharya screamed, and when his mother heard that, then she thought, now for sure my son is gone. So maybe at least at the time of his death, I should allow him to take sannyas. So at least he can have the benefit of dying as a sannyasi. So she said, yes, you can take sannyas. And just as she said that, the crocodile left Shankaracharya and went away. And Shankaracharya became a sannyasi by the grace of Lord Shiva. Well, that is the story, but it is a very significant story, and it marks the start of a reorganization of the Vedanta philosophy by Sri Shankaracharya. He became a giant in Hindu Dharma, upholding the highest philosophy of oneness, Advaita. He upheld that and propagated it throughout the whole length and breadth of India until at the age of 32, he took leave voluntarily from his bodily existence. So within that short period of 16 to 20 years, he propagated so much of Vedanta, provided a protective shield for Hinduism to survive the onslaughts of many other religious sects from outside as well as inside India that were trying to tear apart Hinduism. So Shankaracharya did a very great job, and they, in the process, started a lineage of sannyasis. And Swami Shivananda was in that lineage of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Swami Shivananda's sannyas itself was not a mean occasion. It came after a life of intense service in Malaya. He left India in 1913 and was in Malaya serving the Indians who were working in the rubber plantations there, serving them. Many of them were falling sick. The conditions were very hard. It was almost identical conditions in which Indians in South Africa lived when they came here in 1860. Similar conditions. We worked in the sugarcane plantations in Natal. There, the Indians were taken to work in the rubber plantations. But the work was the same, equally tiring, equally exhausting, underpaid by the British colony, and the same segregation started taking place over there, but it was not called apartheid. There, the British ruled over the Indians, and situation identical to South Africa. Indians suffered the humiliation of being slaves. So Gurudev went to Malaya and helped to serve Indians in that condition. They were not just suffering bodily due to their hard work, but they were also suffering in spirit. Their hearts were shattered. They were broken-hearted. They were enslaved people. And so they suffered psychological torment. And so Gurudev even catered for that in his ministries. He served their body to make it right, but he also served their mind. And he helped to a great extent to relieve the pains of the people, the spiritual pains of the people. Then in 1923, he decided that no matter what he did to help people relieve themselves from their bodily pain, they will always be in pain. It will recur again and again. So he wanted to attain something more permanent. He strove for permanent happiness, not happiness that depended on external things. And it was in a condition of mind of that type that he came across a book called Jiva Brahma Aikya. It was written by a saint named Swami Sachidananda. He had gone to Malaya and he gave this book to Gurudev. When Gurudev read it, he was fired with the desire to attain that oneness. And so he resigned his work in Malaya and came back to India. And it was very sudden. He didn't even offload his goods outside his home in South India. The Tongawala came, and while the family were offloading all his baggages and so on into the house, Gurudev somehow just disappeared. And he went away to the railway station, took the first train and went away to the north. He went to Pandharpur, and then slowly he went higher and higher and ended up in Rishikesh within about 4 or 5 months. There, one sannyasi took pity on him because he was refused food at an annakshetra because he was not a sannyasi. So this sannyasi, his name was Swami Vishwananda, felt pity for Gurudev. He saw the radiance in Gurudev's face that this man is a spiritual giant, and he initiated him into sannyas. And within a few days he went away. We don't hear much about him after that. But that is how Gurudev took sannyas. And as you know, that one event has led to so much change in the spiritual world. He has trained many, many more sannyasis, initiated something like over 100 sannyasis, sent them all over the world. They in turn initiated others into sannyas, and so grew this family of sannyasis that was due to the renunciation of Swami Shivananda. That is why it is such a giant step. if you can think of our sannyas as being a little fireworks, Gurudev's sannyas was an atom bomb. It shook this whole world. It was so powerful. And that is why it is well worth for all of us to celebrate it for a whole year. Talking about it wherever we go throughout the country will be only propagating the ideal of renunciation. Now, I was telling you earlier that when sannyas is not an attainment in itself, but it is a journey towards the attainment. Now, Gurudev started that journey through serving those people in Malaya. We have to start like where Gurudev started. We have to start serving. We have to be very humble. We have to iron out so many of our weaknesses. But basically, there are 6 weaknesses: anger, lust, greed, then pride, delusion, and jealousy. Kama, krodha, mada, lobha, mada, moha, matsarya. Those 6 are the only defects that attack our mind. If we can start eliminating those defects, we'll be well on the path to God realization. I promise you. This is not something out of our reach. Just get rid of those 6 qualities that drag us down. It's like 6 magnets holding us to this worldly life. If we can just break those magnets, shatter them, start leading a pure life. The first steps in yoga are ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. Non-violence, truthfulness, absence of greed, purity of conduct, brahmacharya. And aparigraha means not snatching at other people's properties, non-stealing, it is translated. But literally it means having nothing, no desire for this world. That is what it actually means. So if we start practicing those things, slowly, slowly, we will get rid of those 6 defects in the human mind. It's not impossible. We all are trained to do that. In original Hindu Dharma, children at the Gurukula were taught to do this only. They were taught 4 things: to learn, that's knowledge; to practice it to perfection; then thirdly, to offer all that to God, devotion, have devotion to God. Don't keep all what you learn and all what we practiced and all the earnings from that, don't keep it to ourselves, but share it with society, share it and offer it to a higher altar. Then the last one is put a limit to desires. We are taught that. That's the basic syllabus in a Gurukula. 4 things only. You spend 12 years in the Gurukula, but you learn only these 4 things to the point of perfection. If we don't learn that in our childhood, we will have to learn it when we get married. Then our life will become a little lopsided, but it will be still necessary for us to practice those things. There's no shortcuts. If we miss out on that, or if we allow our children to miss out on learning those qualities now while they are young at school, then we are going to be asking for trouble later on. The 2 items that they miss out, which is devotion and desirelessness, will affect their lives. Today's schools will give you lots of knowledge, and it'll give you a lot of practice to perfect that knowledge. But those are the two secular things which we learn in our schools today. The spiritual items are not taught. So we have to, the parents have to take the responsibility to teach the children the two spiritual legs of childhood development. And that is, teach them devotion to God and teach them to limit their desires. Put a stop. Don't satisfy all the desires. You have to tell the children, please, you daily give up one thing that you like very much and daily take up one thing that you don't like very much. Do that. Just that simple practice. Ask them to do. Give up one thing that you like and take up one thing that you don't like. That way they give up likes and dislikes. And that way they'll be able to get trained for the greater, deeper aspect of life. Just getting a job and starting to earn and so on is easy. Everyone is doing that. They're doing so well. To make $1 million today is nothing. But how do we build up devotion to God? How do we start recognizing that there is some higher power to whom we must dedicate ourselves? That is really crucial. And the way to do that is reduce our attachments to worldly things and attach ourselves to God. It's like a seesaw. Reduce the world and raise the level of devotion to God. When one drops, the other is bound to rise. If this world rises, that one will drop. It goes together like a seesaw. All right. Now that message is worth taking around the country because we are really forgetting it. We are really in deep trouble. We are, as I was saying earlier in satsangs here in East London, we have been bombarded by materialistic forces, and now it's coming through the electronic media. And no one can now save us. It's coming right into our homes. The saints must have told you thousands of times. Now we really need to take heed of that. We really must take hold of ourselves and bite our teeth, and put our heads together and work unitedly for the spiritual good of our community. All right. This is not a very difficult message. Krishna has been advising this to Arjuna right from chapter 3. When Arjuna says, hey, Krishna, what are you trying to ask me to do? You want me to control my mind? I think it's impossible. It's like stopping the wind, he says to Krishna. Can you stop the wind? He says, sorry, Krishna, I'm not for it. You can tell me what you like, but I don't think I'm fit for this. It's impossible. Krishna knew what Arjuna was suffering from. Just diffidence, lack of faith in his own ability. So he said, okay, you can think like that, but remember, if you can only practice and have dispassion, you'll do it. Try it. Don't just give up. Try it. Vyas and Vagya. Practice and dispassion. You'll control this mind. Just with that two things. And so, brothers and sisters, my time is almost up. I plead with you. This has come now to a stage where the religious people have to plead with people. practice some aspect of renunciation. You do it. I know you're doing it all the time. It is Shravan month now, it is Adhik month, and you are practicing a lot of fast. That is good because it is reducing your desire to eat, a fundamental desire. You're controlling the way it pinches. That's good. Please keep it up. Keep up all that might appear to deprive you of pleasure, but give you a longer, deeper pleasure when you practice it. You might think you're losing out, you're missing out on all the fun that is taking place outside. No, you're not missing out anything. That fun that you think is there outside is going to disappear. It's temporary. It's not for your spiritual good. None of these people from the media are interested in our spiritual growth. Only want to whip up our desires as much as possible so that their pockets can get full. They're not interested in us. Don't ever feel they are concerned about our welfare. You have to take the cudgels in your hand and look after your spiritual growth. Say no to, especially to the media. Please try that. It is possible. Jai Sri Ram. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam
પ્રથમરીશું કરી જમારું પુનિતના અંતરમાં પોરો સ્નેહની ચાદરયો રો પુનિતના અંતરમાં પોરો સ્નેહની ચાદરયો રો મારા તાર જનારી કો તમારા તાર જનારી કો પ્રથમરીશું કરી જમારું મારા રસવી નારન ચોર મારા રસવી નારન ચોર પ્રથમરીશું કરી જમારું તેના હાથે જીવન દોર તેના હાથે જીવન દોર પ્રથમરીશું કરી જમારું
श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम विश्वानि देव सवितुर्दुरितानि परासुवः यद्भद्रं तन्नयासुव। ओम अग्नेनय सुपथाराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुना निविद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नम उक्तिम्। नमस्ते सते ते जगत्कारणाय नमस्ते चिते सर्वलोकाश्रयाय नमोऽद्वैततत्त्वाय मुक्तिप्रदाय नमो ब्रह्मणे व्यापिने शाश्वताय त्वमेकं शरण्यं त्वमेकं वरेण्यं त्वमेकं जगत्पालकं त्वमेकं जगत्कर्तु पातु प्रहर्तु त्वमेकं परं निश्चलं निर्विकल्पं वयं त्वां स्मरामो वयं त्वां भजामो वयं त्वां जगत्साक्षिरूपं नमामः सदेकं निधानं निरालम्बमीशं भवाम्बोधिपोतं शरण्यं व्रजाम। ॐ असतो मां सद्गमय तमसो मां ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतम्। ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामय सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्। જે પરમેશ્વર પ્રાણાપી દુઃખથી બચાવી ચેષ્ટા કરાવે છે તે દેવની પાપનાશક જ્યોતિનો અમે ધ્યાન ધરીએ છીએ। તે પ્રભુ અમને સન્માર્ગે દોરો। હે જગત કરતા પરમેશ્વર આપ અમારા સગળા દુઃખો દૂર કરો અને જે કલ્યાણકારક સદગુણો છે તે અમને પ્રાપ્ત થાવ। હે પ્રકાશ સ્વરૂપ પરમાત્મા આપ સંપૂર્ણ વિદ્યાયુક્ત છો। કૃપા કરી અમને ઐશ્વર્યની પ્રાપ્તિ માટે સન્માર્ગથી સંપૂર્ણ પ્રજ્ઞાન અને ઉત્તમ કર્મ પ્રાપ્ત કરાવો। અમારા પાપ કર્મોને દૂર કરો। અમે આપની વિવિધ સ્તુતિરૂપ પ્રશંસા કરી આનંદમાં રહી। જગતના કારણરૂપ સત સ્વરૂપ પરમેશ્વર તમને અમારા સર્વલોકના આધારથી સ્વરૂપ તમને નમસ્કાર હો। મુક્તિદાતા અદ્વૈત પ્રભુ તમને નમસ્કાર હો। શાશ્વત અને સર્વવ્યાપક બ્રહ્મ તમને અમારા અનેક નમસ્કાર હો। હે વિશ્વંભર તુજે ક્ષણ લેવા યોગ્ય છે, તુજ ઈચ્છવા લાયક છે। તું જગતનો પાલક અને સ્વપ્રકાશથી પ્રકાશમાન છે। તું જગતનો ઉપજાવનાર પાણનાર અને સંહારનાર છે અને તું જ એક નિશ્ચલ તથા નિર્વિકલ્પ છે। હે પાવન પિતા અમે તારું સ્મરણ કરીએ છીએ અને તને જ ભજીએ છીએ। જગતના સાક્ષીરૂપ અમે તને જ નમીએ છીએ। કશાનો આધાર ન લેનાર એવા ભવસાગરની નૌકારૂપ પરમેશ્વરના સુખરૂપ શરણમાં અમે પ્રેમથી હે જ્ઞાન સ્વરૂપ વિભુ અમને અસત્યમાંથી પાછા વાળી સત્યમાં પ્રેરો, અજ્ઞાનમાંથી જ્ઞાન માર્ગે દોરો, મૃત્યુરૂપ દુઃખમાંથી અમૃત સુખમાં લઈ જાઓ। હે દયાળુ દેવ અમે પ્રાર્થીએ છીએ કે આ લોકમાં સર્વે પ્રાણી સુખી રહો, સગળા આરોગ્યતા પામો, સૌનું કલ્યાણ થાય અને કોઈ પણ પ્રાણી દુઃખી ન રહે. ઓ ઈશ્વર ભજીએ તને, મોટું છે તુજ નામ, ગુણ તારા નિત્ય ગાઈએ, થાય અમારા કામ. હેતલા વિહસાવ તું, સદા રાખ દિલ સાફ, ભૂલ કદી કરીએ અમે, તો પ્રભુ કરજો માફ. ઓમ દેવો શાંતિરંતરિક્ષં શાંતિ પૃથ્વી શાંતિરાપ શાંતિરોષધયઃ શાંતિ વનસ્પતયઃ શાંતિર્વિશ્વે દેવા શાંતિ બ્રહ્મ શાંતિ સર્વજ્ઞ શાંતિ શાંતિરેવ શાંતિ શાંતિરેધિ. ઓમ શાંતિ 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 સુશાંતિર્ભવતુ. રાધે કૃષ્ણ ભગવાન કી જય, કૃષ્ણ કનૈયા લાલ કી જય, બાલકૃષ્ણ ભગવાન કી જય, ઉમાપતિ મહાદેવ કી જય, અંબે માત કી જય, ગણપતિ મહારાજ કી જય, પવન સુત હનુમાન કી જય. ઓમ નમઃ પાર્વતી પતये. હર હર મહાદેવ હર. આરતી. સાંજ પડે દિનયાથ મેં, ચકવા ચકવીરો, ચલો ચકવા ક્યાં જય, સાંજ પડે મત રોજ. ગૌરી પૂછે ગોરિયા, તિમિર ગયું રવિ દેખતા, કુબુદ્ધિ ગઈ ગુરુ જ્ઞાન, સંપત ગઈ અતિ લોભ શે, ભક્તિ ગઈ અભિમાન. કુંજર ભયો લિયો અપને શિર ભાર, તાકે જમરા કૂટ શે લુહાર. શ્રી રાધે કૃષ્ણ ભગવાન કી જય. ઓમ જય જગદીશ હરે પિતા, જય જગદીશ હરે. ભક્ત જનો કે સંકટ, ભક્ત જનો કે સંકટ क्षण में दूर करे. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख विनाशे मन का प्रभु, दुख विनाशे मन का. सुख संपत्ति का आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे. कष्ट मिटे तन का. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. मात पिता तुम मेरे, चरण ग्रहु में किसकी प्रभु, चरण ग्रहु में किसकी. तुम बिना और न कोई, तुम भी और न कोई, आशा करूं मैं किस। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतरयामी प्रभु, तुम अंतरयामी, परम ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, परम ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता प्रभु, तुम पालन करता। मैं बालक अज्ञानी, मैं बालक अज्ञानी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम दीस हरे, तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति प्रभु, सबके प्राणपति, चित विधमिलुदयामय, चित विधमिलुदयामय, तुमको हमें कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, दीनबंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे प्रभु, तुम रक्षक मेरे, करुणा करुणा हस्त बढ़ावो, शरण पड़ा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा प्रभु, पाप हरो देवा, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ावो, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ा, संत की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, पिता जय जगदीश हरे, भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम दीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्द्रे भवं भवानी सहितं। मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलाय तनोहरि। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते, नारायणी नमोस्तुते, नारायणी नमोस्तुते। श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। जलेन शीतलीकरणं कुर्यात् पुष्पैः देववन्दनं पुष्पैः देववन्दनं पुष्पैः देववन्दनं पुष्पैः देववन्दनम् पुष्पैः देवी वन्दनम् स्थापितदेवताभ्यो नमः। निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि आरार्तिक्यं समर्पयामि यश आरोग्य प्राप्त्यर्थे स्वात्मानाम् अभिवन्दनं पात्रादवैः हस्तम् सुन्दरं पटपीतमानौ तडितरुचिसुचिनौमि शिरमुकुटकुण्डलतिलकचार उदारयङ्ग भूषणम् आजानुभुजसर शदानवदैत्यवंशनिकन्दनं रघुनन्दयानन्दकन्दकौशल चन्द्रदशरथनन्दनम् इति वदिततुलसीदास शङ्कर शेषमुनिमनरञ्जनम् मम हृदय कुञ्जनिवास कामादिकलदलरञ्जनम् सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। गणपति महाराज की जय। विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय सुरप्रियाय लंबोदराय सकलाय जगद्वित् नागाननाय श्रुतियज्ञविभूषिताय गौरीसुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते। गणपति महाराज की उमापति महादेव की जय। श्मशाने स्वाक्रीडा स्मरहर पिशाचा सहचरा चिताभस्मालेपं सृगपिनुकरोटी परिकरम् अमङ्गल्यं शीलां तव भवतु नामेवमखिलं तथापि स्मर्तॄणां वरद परमं मङ्गलमसि। उमापति महान राधे कृष्ण भगवान की कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की बाल कृष्ण भगवान की। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। आकाशात् पतितं योऽयं यथा गच्छति सागरं सर्वदेवो नमस्कारं केशवं प्रतिगच्छति मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपात्वमहं वन्दे परमानन्दममाधवम्। त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणां त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरं गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री असदगिरिसमं शात् कज्जलमसेन्दुपात्रे सुरतरुवरशाखालेखनी पत्रमुर्वी लिखत यदि गृहीत्वां शारदा सर्वकालं तदविधि तव गुणानां मीशपारम् राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय 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 जगदम्बे आद्य शक्ति भवानी माँ अम्बे मात की नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियतां प्रणतास्मतां विद्युद्दाम समप्रभां मृगपतिं स्कन्धस्थितां कन्याभिकरवालखेटविलसस् हस्ताभिरासेवितां हस्तैश्चक्रधरालिखेटविशिखां चापं गुणां तर्जनीं बिभ्राणां मण्डलात्मिकां शशिधरां दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे अम्बे मात की आशापुरी मात की महालक्ष्मी मात की जय राधे उमापति महादेव की जय महाराज की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय ओम नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हर राम कहे सुख उपजे चित्रकूट के घाट पर संतन की भीड़, तुलसीदास चंदन गसे तिलक करे रघुवीर सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। रघुवीर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति रमापति रामचंद्र की जय। वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की। बोलो रे बाबा संतन की जय। प्रसादी ध्यान की। जय श्री कृष्ण, नमस्ते. Once again, behalf of the Islam Society, we would like to say Dhanyavad and thank you to Swami Guru Bhaktananda and also Kevin to coming our mandir. And this, as I said, this mandir is not something which is new for Guru Swami Ji. Is a well-known mandir for him. As I said, enlightenment in this case inspiring. So when we listen to talk, what we are taking, and that is very important for us. So after entire talk, we should take this concept LPP is equal to P. So when we say LPP is equal to P means K, the first is learning. Learning, we all learn, as Swamiji mentioned, learning in these days so very easy, it's our doorstep. Everything through the technology, learning a spirituality as our doorstep. Now second part is P, means practice. Now when we say practice for what? So then second P come is equal to perfection. When we practice, then we move towards ourselves to the perfection. But unfortunately, we only learning, but we're not practicing. That is why we are not perfect. Is equal to P means the Swamis and Gurus and Pujaris have to plead to us to be a spiritual and be a religious personality. Very important message for us to learn, not us, through us, the thousands of other souls who are sitting at the home, our friends, our loved ones, our families. Explain them this concept of the LPP is equal to P. That's all. Learn, practice towards the perfections. Otherwise, pleading will not help. Thank you, Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Swamiji. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. श्री राधे कृष्णाय नमः. श्री राधे कृष्णाय नमः. श्री राधे कृष्णाय नमः. गजानन गणपति महाराज की जय. कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की. बाल कृष्ण भगवान की जय. उमापति महादेव